ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुरेव परं ब्रह्मा तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। After the 262 Doha, before we start, can you turn the fans or AC on? झांझी मृदंग शंख सहनाई भेरी ढोल दुंदुभी सुहाई बाजहि बहु बाजने सुहाए जहाँ तहाँ वतन मंगल गाए सखिन सहित हर्षि अति रानी सुखत धान पराजनु पानी. So now that the Rama Dhanusha was broken, Janjhi Mridang Sankh Sahanai Bheri Dol Dundubhi Suhai, as if it was a Vijaya Yatra after winning a big war. So all these instrument players started playing different kinds of instruments. Janjhi, Mridang, Dhol, these are all the uh, leather instruments which are acoustics. Sankha, Sahanai, Bheri, Dundubi. These are all wind instruments. So at this point, there is no point of playing soft instruments. Soft instruments like flute or a violin or sitar, it doesn't suit the occasion. The occasion requires lot of expressive sound. I wouldn't say loud sound, expressive sound required. And imagine if there is a huge Sena and the entire Sena had to listen to it. So you need this kind of instruments. Here, though it was not a Sena of uh, Shatru or something like that, but with tens and thousands of Rajas sitting there who were as good as being a Shatru, and all different kinds of people across making different sounds, and the sound of the dhanusha which was just broken still ringing in their ears. So something loud had to be played to express their joy, happiness and satisfaction. बाजहि बहु बाजने सुहाए. They started playing. Now, if you see, if there is a Carnatic singer or a instrumental player, whether you know music or not, everybody listening will start shaking their head and beating their some kind of tala. Sometimes those who are uh, accompanying with their tala is so off the beat that the singer can get confused. But still, everybody participates. Now, this being such an event where everybody wanted to show their participation, uh, anything they could lay their hands on which could make sound, which could make noise, they started playing all those different noises. It's like you're in a what stadium it is called? The basketball stadium, when your favorite player has scored a three pointer in the final moments to grab the game, and how everybody is on their feet, and then whatever they can hold their hands on, those clappers, those sound making ones. Now imagine if there is an music that has to be played on the system, shouldn't it be on a higher note than the sound that these people are making? So everybody was playing that music. Jaha taha juvatinah mangal gaye. Wherever there were these groups of girls, usually for such events, they all go together. So it is kind of a homecoming, Rama's homecoming, winning over this competition. So all the girls, they were singing Mangala Gai. They were singing different kinds of Mangala Dhuni, like the different kinds of Mangala Arati, different kinds of bhajans, different kinds of kritis. When we do Rama Kalyana, what is the song that is actually usually sung? Sita Kalyana. So it's some kind of such song. They started all singing. Now one starts, the rest of them it catches like fire. That oh, this song, okay, we will also sing. We will also sing. So it was like a stadium effect. That suddenly what started in one corner became a surround sound. So, Sakina Sahit Harashi Ati Rani. So Rani ji must have turned to her Sakhis. She cannot be the one who, there are so many things. One's her age, Then the maryada of being a queen. So she cannot jump like the rest of the common folk. So she sits and turns to the Sakhi, and probably she held their hands and they held her hand, and they were like, that was, but that was expressive, too much expressive already. It was like sukhat dhan parajanu pani. See, the right amount of water for the crop, which was yearning for some natural rain. So if it rains too much, then dhan goes bad. It has to rain enough that it is to the sustenance of the crop. So there was enough for this Rani Sunaina ji to enjoy that moment with her Sakhi. Continuing. जनक लहेउ सुख सोच बिहाई पैरत थके थाह जनु पाई. जनक लहेउ sukh soch bihai. Janaka had such a sigh of relief. And his mind must have been running in dozens of different directions. What if, and in what if clause, there were so many thoughts that he was weighed down upon. It's a very intense moment. What if nobody breaks the bow? What if one of them takes the lead of the other kings and says, comes up with a quick plan saying, Sita ji is mine, Janakpuri is yours, the Rajya Kosha is yours, and then Dhanya Kosha is yours, the Sena is yours. Come on, let us rip it apart. What if? You know, what if there's, other than the king sitting there, how would I face Sita? How would I face my queen? That I, out of my own, um, whatever you call it there, pride, or I created this particular event, which became a block for Sita's happy living. There were so many questions running, and suddenly that Shiva Dhanusha broken. He was ecstatic. He was relieved. How was he? Pairat takhe tah janu pai is somebody who knows swimming. Otherwise, fall in the ocean, pluck, weak, go inside. No, he knows how to swim, but without any relief, he has been swimming for a while. That his hands and legs are aching, and to such individual, there is that what do you call that? Life saver. So you get a lifesaver, that tube, and holds the tube with all his life. I feel so endearing at that moment. Hum, finally, some relief. So he holds on to it tightly. पैरत तक है ताह जनु पाई. Now, if you know that kind of relief, it is, say you're been walking in a desert area, in a deserted street, and it has been, say 105, degrees, and you've been walking for miles, and there is not a single individual, single soul that you see to even ask for a glass of water. And suddenly somebody passing by looks at you, stops, takes out their water jug and gives you water. How do you feel? So Janaka felt that kind of relief. Continuing. श्री हत भये भूप धनु टूटे, सिय सुख ही बरनिय कही भांति, जनु चातकी पाई जलु स्वाति, राम ही लखन बिलोकत कैसे, ससिहि चकोर किशोरक तैसे। श्रीहत भये भूप धनु टूटे, जैसे दिवस दीप छवि छूटे। There is this deepa which is in the front yard. So in those days, they used to use something called Dahili Deepak Nyaya. It's like on a high wall, they would place the lamp in such a way that two portions of the house, two portions of the yard can be covered equally. Like if you remember in the olden days, there was one toilet, one bathroom, and there was a middle wall, and there would be one 0 watt bulb in between. Remember that? Similar to that. Short wall. Not actually short, but fairly short, and there is one bulb in there. So if yes, so that all places are lit and there is less consumption. So there is that kind of a deepaka on the wall, and it happens here also. Sometimes you have your front of the house lights on, and it is not an automated system. So the sun is up. It was that lazy Saturday morning that you woke up late and forgot that the light was on. Until you see that there is a lamp lit, you would not know that the lamp is actually lit because it has lost its glowing power because the sun is so bright. Similarly, Shri Hat Bhaye Bhoop Dhan Tute. As soon as the Dhanusha broke, all these kings, as if lost their Shri, lost their glory. Like in front of the sun, the little, he at least called them Deepa. Imagine, I'm taking it a little exaggerated level. Imagine the uh, bugs that lit up in at night. The firefly, not firefly, it's called Jugunu. Uh, what is it called in English? You get the idea, right? Night times they glow. Now, what happens to their glow in the morning? It's not there. You can't even see it. So similarly was the glory of all these kings, and everybody when they came with their bhata. Bhata is the one who sings their glory. Rajadiraja, Raja Martanda, Raja Vaibhava, Raja this, the Raja, and having sung all that glory, not even able to move that dhanush a little bit, the Bhata was also must be feeling किसकी glory सुना रहा हूँ मैं यार. Sahasra Gaja Bahubala, like somebody who has thousands of elephants worth strength and cannot even move a dhanusha. What kind of a king am I following? So all their glory was like washed away. सीय सीय सुखई बरणीय के ही भांति, जनु चातकी पाई जलु स्वाति. From the chataka bird, when that rains come and it quenches his thirst by the first rains of the season. I'm yet to find that bird though. That bird which, and it does not drink the water which has touched the ground. It has to come straight from the heavens into its throat. Like, how these kids in the first snowfall want to catch those snowflakes with their mouth. So Chataka must be like that, to catch the first rains, and how eagerly it is looking forward. So similarly, Sita ji was very happy, and her happiness knew no bounds, and it cannot be expressed in words as to how grateful she felt that day. राम ही लखन बिलोकत कैसे. How was Lakshmana looking at Ramji? He says, Sasihi chakor kisorak jaise. Now, you say Chataka is one. No, the chakor pakshi is, it gets its thirst quenched on the full moon day with the moon's rays. Vichitra pakshi. See, the moon is always there in the sky, but it is that full moon which quenches its thirst. So, similar was Lakshmana's expression. When all these were happening, on dot, those who had to fulfill their responsibilities have to take care of their responsibilities. So, what did the head priest do? सतानंद तब आय सुदीन्हा सीता गमन राम पही कीन्हा. Shatananda. Now his name itself is sufficient. Sha and Sa abhedaha. Like somebody says sugar, but there are some who say it as sugar. Right? So Shatananda, the one who is 100 folds happy always. So he looked at Sita ji, giving her guidance, giving her next step of advice. So must have happened that he walked all the way to Sita ji with her Sakhi, and probably the Sakhis were already holding the Varamala, and they said, pick that up, all through gestures, not even, and it says, I'll lead you. So they have to get down their platform, get down through those steps, again get up through those steps where Ramji was standing. There's a lot of steps walking up and down. So Sita ji very carefully picked up her cloth and started walking according to the guidance given. Sita hi gaman Ram upahi kinha. And he led Sita ji towards Ramchandra ji. संग सखी सुंदर चतुर गावहि मंगल चार गवनी बाल मराल गति सुषमा अंग अपार. संग सखी सुंदर chatur. Her sakhi are always referred to as chatur. Chatura, one aspect of chaturata or chaturai is to be spontaneous and to have their wits composed, that they can take split second decisions and advice. Now, if Sita ji turns around the Sakhi should know why she turned. Sita ji turns and Sakhi says, क्या है? अब बोलो तो सही, what do you need? I'm not like someone who is lost in their own world. I'm at least asking. Say, what do you want? No. Then you are not chatura. You are not spontaneous. You are not you know, on the fly, ready with solutions and advice. How they are chatura, we'll see it in the next few chaupais. But they were always referred to as chatura, ready, ready to grasp the situation and come up with apt solutions. So as soon as Sita ji looked at them, it's like, don't worry, we have the Jayamala. You don't need to be carrying it all the way. We'll carry it for you. At that point, you can take it and then put it on him. Until then, we will hold it. Now, be careful with your sari. Be careful with your steps. Walk firmly, but walk slowly. Tension नहीं लेने का. Don't be so anxious. I know, we know. You're too happy. We are also happy. We have been waiting eagerly for this. All this communicated only with eyes. Gavahi Mangalacharan. And all this communication happening when these girls were singing different Mangala Stuti, different kinds of Mangala Stuti that they were singing as they were being led by Satananda, the head priest, to go to that platform where Ramji was standing. Gavani Bal Maralagati Sushma Ang Apar. Glorious was Sita ji looking with such composure, such beauty, such infinite charm. Sushma Anga Apar. Her limbs were radiating with a lot of glow. Charm. Sushma is charm. Gavani Bal Maralagati. And how was she walking? She was walking as if it was the young, robust lioness. Have you seen the walk of the lion? It's such a royal gait. As they're walking and it moves its head, it's almost like the first scene of the introduction of a hero in a movie, right? So the first shot starts from the feet, and as the steps are moving, there is that little dust that comes off at the back, and then moving up, you know, every limb in its measured, counted moves, walks with that gait of the Marala, the young lioness. And now her walk is already done. Now what happens? Sakhina madhyasiya sohati kaise छवि गण मध्य महा छवि जैसे कर सरोज जय माल सुहाई विश्व विजय शोभाज ही छाई. सखिन मध्य सिय सोहत कैसे. How was Sita ji appearing in all that? If you can imagine a eagle's eye shot from the top. There is so much of colors being thrown around, flowers being thrown around, the sounds being made. Everybody is definitely not on their seat, on their feet. Somebody is dancing, somebody is chanting, and then suddenly zoom off to the top from the canopy which covered the place where the king and the queen and Sita ji were sitting. Suddenly appears Sita ji with about 14-15 Sakhi, and they are getting down the steps, and they are getting up to the steps of the platform. And from there, it zooms in. Director's view. No, this is a crane. Top crane shot. This is so from the crane, then it comes down, zooms in all the way onto the focus of these group walking in as they are moving. How was Sita ji looking? Chhabi Gana Madhya Maha Chhabi Jaise. They were all with amazing beauty, including the Sakhi. Among the beautiful ones, she was the most radiating, Mahachhavi, most glowing form. See, when even people with ordinary beauty, when it is announced that you are getting married, there's some kind of glow that comes up. There's some kind of radiance that automatically comes up. What happens to that glow? What happens to that radiation after the seven steps? I don't know what happens. But just before there is that glow, and she was beaming forth with full capacity. Maha Chhavi Jaise. Kar Saroj Jay Mala Suhai. In her hands, delicate hands, there was this equally delicate mala made of lotuses. And Vishwa Vijaya Sobha Jahi Chai. And it was for her the most longing victory. It's a very strange victory here. You are not the one winning, you are the one being won over, but you have the happiness, you have the joy of winning. Strange that you are being won over and you are having the happiness of being a winner. It's a strange equation. Though outside there was that joy which is also contained, she cannot suddenly jump and start dancing. It doesn't give shobha to the Rajakumari. So there is that joy, there is that. So what happens? तन सकोच मन परम उछाहु गूढ़ प्रेम लखी परई न काहू जाई समीप राम छवि देखी रही जन कुंवरि चित्र अवरेखी. तन सकोच मन परम उछाहू. Her limbs were, though walking with a measured, constrained gait, but there was some kind of a anxiety. And then how was her mind? It was jumping beyond boundaries. Probably, if I were the one describing, I would have said like the corn in the popcorn machine. Tup, 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 tup. It's all like popping all over the place. So her heart was popping up with so much of joy, and in that joy, when there were nobody around, she would have done millions of things, and she must have been telling to herself, "Wait, Sita, wait." उसका भी टाइम आएगा, अभी टेम नहीं आया है, वेट, होल्ड ऑन. गूढ़ प्रेम लखी परई न काहू. All that longing and love that she had harbored in her heart, it was all like jumping forth, overflowing. ता जाई समीप राम छवि देखी. So she had seen Ramchandra ji from a distance in the Udyanavana. She had glanced at him with her head, focused elsewhere, the neck not moving. With the corner of her eye, she was glancing through all these events. Why doesn't he get up? Why should others get the opportunity? He can go do this, finish it, and I'm done. And all her anticipation, all her prayers were standing in front of her answered. The first time she was having a close up look. Now, in that close up look, she's standing right in front of him, but she cannot, directly say, like the child gets to see or a chocolate cheesecake. No, your heart may be jumping with that joy, but with that Maryada, how she looks, the head is still down. It is not just the Loka Maryada, it's her shyness. Okay. With that shyness, and yet the heart is demanding, अरे देखना एक बार. She look at you, he's standing right in front of you. So again, the view is now from Sita ji's eyelashes. I'm giving you the director's view. Okay. So Sita ji's eyelashes, they're still very sakoch. There is some kind of hesitation, and she opens and she sees his feet, the broken dhanusha, the pieces all around, and there is light wind blowing. So his pita vastra is fluttering to that wind, and she is slowly raising her eyelids up, and she sees the entire chhavi of Lord Rama from the closest proximity ever that she had ever had an opportunity so far, and then looks at his face, and then suddenly again closes her eyes. So dekhi chavi. Rahi jan kuwar chitra avarekhi. And it was as if there was this amazing, piece of. Sometimes you see these flowers on display on center table or the dining table. They look so real that you almost are tempted to touch and see how real they are, right? So her hands were automatically going to reach out to to see how real. Nahi, abhi nahi. Not now. It was like that Vidhata had sculpted the piece of marvel, piece of perfection, standing right in front of her. चतुर सखी लखी कहा भुजाई, पहिरावहु जयमाल सुहाई, सुनत जुगल कर भाल उठाई, प्रेम विवश पहिराई न जाई. Now looking at that situation, see the chaturata. Now when somebody has become so self-conscious and then you keep poking at them saying Karna, and they're on stage. Okay, when they are on stage, like the kids when they are on stage, and they're like suddenly become very conscious. i'm standing I'm standing in front of everybody, and then my name, and then like, wait a second, what is my name? And then they go in that freeze. At that point, the teachers from the back, the coordinator from the front, everybody is like, come on, for God's sake, you know your name, come on, say it. Everybody is like eagerly waiting on. The pressure that mounts to that self-conscious person is very high. So the chaturai of these girls, these Sakhi of Sitaji, was that they started, every wedding event has various couplets, various songs, and they started singing the situational song, which would say that now is the time for you to, um, it's like more teasing to relax and distract the mind from that apprehension or apprehensive tension, and yet suggestive enough to say that that is your next step. So they were singing as if teasing, but actually suggesting, ताजी आगे चलो पहना ही दो. So this is your time to put that Jayamala on Ramchandra ji. So as she was listening, she picked up that Jayamala, the Kamala Pushpamala, and her heart was so overwhelmed with joy, so overwhelmed with love for the Lord, that it was almost like frozen at a mid-air point. That Ramji is bending his head and Sita ji has picked up her hand. It is not reaching across. And Ramji is like, oh, वहीं पे है. प्रेम विवश पहराई न जाई. How was that particular, if you take see, the beauty of Tulsidas ji when he becomes descriptive in his narrative is sometimes he gives a flow as to this is the flow, and sometimes in the flow he captures a photo and then describes that photo. Okay. How was this frame looking? So he captures this moment and he says, सोहत जनु जुग जल जस नाला ससी सभीत देत जयमाला. सोहत जनु जुग जलज sanala. Her hands were looking like the stalk, and her hands were like the limbs. No, her hands were looking like the petals of the lotus. And the lotus does not bloom in front of the moon, it is only with the Surya. So, having come thus far, what happened? Suddenly, it is like full brakes on. So, all the Kamala that was Vikasita out of shyness, they went inwardly. Her pause was looking like that. Sasihi sabhit det jayamala. And Tulsidas ji uses the beautiful appropriate words at the appropriate time. He says, though it was that shyness that the lotus of Sitaji was like in a pause, but it was still sohata. Sohata, it was still beautiful. It was not like the lotus that had lost its glow or its bloom. It was still blooming, but out of shyness, Hindi word is mukarna. Mukarna. It's like there's that little bit looks like hesitation. That it was out of shyness that there was that hesitation. गावहीं छवि अविलोक सले सहेली सिया जयमाल राम उर्मेली. And then the Sakhi then immediately switched gears and picked up another couplet. This is, the neck is stretched, waiting for your mala, almost suggestively indicating now is the time that you can offer that mala on his neck. And as she heard that, said, "Oh, I have paused. Okay, sorry." And then she gathered up courage, and then put that Jayamala around Ramji's neck. So this particular event for past 5 months, it was in Janakapuri. They had arrived. Everything else was described. Everything else was happening. And finally, we reached to the point where Ramji and Sita ji are united. Yes, you can clap. Continuing. रघुवर उर जयमाल देखी देव बरसहि सुमन सकुचे सकल भुवाल जन बिलो की रवि कुमद गण. रघुवर उर जयमाल देखी देव बरसहि सुमन. As soon as this Jayamala was on Ramchandraji's neck, all the gods from the heavens were showering, like they had a special order, contract, that various situations, every such situation they ordered. Now, from the heavens, the flowers to come. They had to take care of the wind velocity and everything and place it in such a way and then offer it so that it falls on the entire arena. So they were covered with, the sky was covered with flowers that were coming from heavens. Now, while this was happening, there was one particular segment of group. They were least enjoying that moment. Who were they? All the kings who had come there assembled. It was like somebody snatched away their share, wherein everybody got an opportunity. But still, and of all of them, he was the youngest. Dhikar. Chi. What is this? Finally, my whole glory has come to this extent that I'm lost to a kid. This is not fair. Sakuche sakala bhuvala janu below ki rabi kumudagana. Like kumuda is another variety of lotus which opens up during the night with the moon's rays, and with the sun's rays it perishes. So similarly, all these, when there was no Surya, were bloating with their little ahankara around. Suddenly, now that Ramji had broken and the Jayamala had been worn by him, they all felt, completely perishing in his presence. And having come thus far, we may all speak like, you should have the right spirits for competition. Clap when the winner wins. Say, winner wins, clap. And he says, who said that? They were mad. Continuing. How much is the time? We still have 9 minutes. Pura arbyom baja. बाजने बाजे खल भय मलिन साधु सब राजे सुर किन्नर नर नाग मुनीसा जय जय कह कहीं देहि असीसा नाचहि गावहि विबुध बटूही बार बार कुसुमांजलि छूटी जहाँ तहाँ विप्र वेद धुनि करही बंदी बिरदावली उच्छरही पुर अरबोम व्योम बाजने बाजे. The entire city was throbbing with sound of music. खल भये मलिन साधु सब राजे. And all these kings were like cast down. The people also would be sometimes like, looking at them, showing that, look, that is how it is broken. You all went. What could you do? So more than the loss of the event, these people looking at them and laughing, that was rubbing like on the cut. If there is some cut, there is, see, lime, salt, and little bit of mirchi on corn is tasty. But when the same thing is applied on a wound, it burns. So it was like burning them from within. Suran, Kinnara, Nara, Naga, Munisa, all different kinds of groups of people. Jaya 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 Kahi Dehi Asisa. They were all singing the glory, singing the victory of Lord, and they were giving blessings. Nachahi Gavahi Bibudabatuhi. The the wise people and their daughters in the heaven, they were all dancing and singing the glory. Bar bar kusumanjali chuti. And they would sing a praise and then take liberal amounts of flowers and then throw them into the, from the heavens they have to now land into the earth. Jaha taha vipra bheda duni karahi. And the vipra were like chanting different kinds of Veda Patha. Must have been Samagana at that time. Ha, woo, ha, woo, ha, woo. Expressing through the Vedas the joy. Or some the Sahasra Shirsha, Purushaha, Sahasrakshas, Sahasrapat. Wherever, whichever mantra they were chanting Veda Dhuni. Bandi Biradavali Uchcharahi. And those who were the Bhata of Janakapuri, and Ramji did not come with all that kind of entourage. So they quickly framed a poetic, uh, and then they picked, somebody says, these 2 lines, 3 lines, rhyming lines, and it clicks, and everybody starts repeating it. So these Bandi Jana, they started saying these different sentences, loudly. The Raja ho to aise, tum bane kaise, tum Raja bane kaise, something. I'm just creating it right now. So they were Bandi Jana, and they were Biradavali singing the glory. Continuing. महिपाताल नाक जसु व्यापा राम बरी सिय भंज चापा करही आरती पुर नर नारी देहि निछावरी बित्त बिसारी. महिपाताल नाक जसु व्यापा राम बरी सिय bhanja uchapa. And from the heavens to Patala, this news that Ramji has shattered the bow reached across instantaneously. So they had instant messaging. So all the Twitter handles were overflowing with this news. The Facebook had different photos, videos, and congratulatory notes from various people. Any other platform? It reached all across within few seconds, the heavens as well as the patala. Karahi arati pura nara nari. And the people started doing arati of the Lord of this event. And then, as their token of appreciation, they had, the mala or coins or money or, if not anything else, the popcorn or chana or their turban into the air. They were throwing everything in. They are giving everything in. सोहति सिया राम के जोरी छवि सिंगार मनह एक टोरी सखी कहीं प्रभु पद गहु सीता करति न चरण परस अति भीता. This was picture perfect. That was not anything looking obnoxious. That there was this king who was tall and all muscles, and Sita ji tiny standing next. It doesn't match. And somebody has lots of mustache and then hair, and then standing next to a delicate Sita ji. It doesn't match. But here it was a picture perfect, that Sita ji and Ramchandra ji were like a pair made in heaven, literally. That they matched each other in every aspect. And the shobha of them both together was uh, avarnanatita. I mean, you cannot describe them, put them in action, I mean, in words. Then the Sakhi said, we're all looking at Sita ji and indicating, like the parents when they see a orange color, they say, do namaskar, do namaskar, do namaskar." And the child is oblivious. Huh? Now, Sita ji knew what the next step was, but she was scared to touch the feet of the Lord. Why? That we will see next week. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om.